I said if anyone asked me what I was going to, what I was doing, they said, well, since on the 4th of the month, I've discovered America with Erickson. Sailed for 33 days without seeing land with Columbus.
And studying history.
Studying history.
Yeah. I mean, excuse me, I'll move in here.
No.
I'm gonna let you print those names.
Okay. You want to say a few words to the camera? I'm making a movie for next time.
Are you sure now?
You'll be on TV next year.
Oh, how great. Who ever heard the like? Glad to be here. Glad to see your pretty little wife.
Great. And there she is. I've had to learn to move this real slowly because if I move it fast, make you dizzy.
Y'all smile. Y'all have your camera.
All right, you. All right.
Please don't do that.
Are you taping?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm making a TV movie.
I can't stand it.
Don't do it.
I'm trying to get all these flags.
I'll bring a TV set next year and we'll show it all. I bet you Jamie doesn't know he's on TV.
Oh, I tell you what, that's going to run
No, sir, you don't have to see Jamie.
you. Oh,
Now there's old David. I'm making a TV movie to show next year.
I want to meet your wife.
Yeah, and there's her.
I haven't met her.
She's right over here. Come on, Dave. And I don't know who all these people are, but now that's Bertie Cox. I remember her. She's deceased now. She was.
I don't think Jerry's probably going to get me. You know, I've had a picture of Maureen and Paul, and I don't know where he's going
Let me get a good shot of all these photos. Well, now this is my grandfather. I'll have to point them out after I show them, David, because they're off center here. That's Jamie right there that I'm pointing at. When he was a lot younger. Just a minute, I'll tell you who these people are as best I know. Now, that's a good shot. I've got these pictures, so I'm not going to show them too much.
Yeah.
It's on that. And then you push it again to make it stop. I won't do my silly face.
Please don't. Those things we ought to do is dance. Hey, look at
Yes.
Oh no.
you like to sing like
David, get a good shot of this man here. Show this picture over here. Get these people right in here. This is my grandmother's family.
I went in there.
Glad to see you again, Jason. How are you? This is your last year you were here, wasn't it? What's your Are you getting them on? Did you get these people right here?
She gets me.
Yes.
Making you run the town with me.
Okay. Amazing how that thing works. I'm watching it adjust.
she said she was here.
I get this man right over here. Slowly
Okay.
turn.
Carlita won't turn around.
No, I'm not turning
Get a good shot of this man right here.
Oh my!
This is Bascom Roundtree.
Right,
This is Daddy's first cousin.
you're getting broke up. That'll wait till you get through taking pictures.
No. This is one of the great banjo pickers in the country.
Oh, is he going to play for us today?
He's fixing to put out that Shreveport today. Oh, I forget that. You had.
Oh, the Jamboree, Hayride, Louisiana Hayride.
Yeah, there's a guy playing on saying,
No. She didn't today.
Oh, no.
Hey, darling, I love you, but,
I mean, yeah, I'll keep my hand. I'll take a good picture of my
yes.
I won't have to see
Mr. Cox, I'm taking a picture of you.
You doing what?
Taking a TV picture of you.
Oh, are you?
That's what everybody says. I don't think so.
All right, Bob, you all right? I'm doing fine.
What you walking so slow about? Can't you get along any faster? You got just like me.
Get a TV picture of you two. Hello.
Those are worse than cameras.
You can be a star next time when I bring the TV set.
Sit down with your back too soft.
Hi.
I'm not doing it.
Well, hello there. With the love on fire.
How you doing?
All right, this is Irene Bowers. She used to go to school in Commerce, and she knew Aunt Lena.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. This is my sister Jean, my wife Haven, and other sisters. She was one of the Duncan.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I remember Billy.
He was in Missouri. That's still at the same place.
Yeah.
His daughter has moved to Allen, which is out of Plano, just out of Plano. And do you? So she moved there last year. And we've seen her a couple times.
Did you get over Steve here?
No, I didn't. Where is he?
Steve, come over here and maybe get a shot of you. This is Steve Scroggs, great-grandson of great-great-grandson of James
Martha
Scroggs.
Allen?
Yes, this is the great-great-grandson of Martha Allen. Okay. That's enough. This is
And a bunch
Ann.
of people back there.
Remember, maybe they did. I didn't get to.
Ann Austin. You want to say a few things for our camera?
Well, we were both so shocked. She turned around and said,
Yeah. What are you doing?
While you anticipate the glory to come, pass the time of your sojourn here in fear. In the words of the poet Longfellow, trust no future, however pleasant. Let the dead past bury its
I'm trying to be a gopher. But we hope to instill and spark an idea that possibly this coming year we can get a historical marker. It's a long, tough road. But hopefully some of us, as we contribute to our fund this year for the maintenance of the cemetery, that some of us can give a little extra to get this marker if we can get it verified by the state. It's not easy, but we're going to pursue it. And it costs $300 or $400 for the cheapest one. But again, this is minor. Some of us will try to take care of that. If anyone wants to contribute a little extra, well, feel free to do so. And I'll turn it over to David or Margaret, whatever y'all have to add to this.
Want me to do that? Oh, okay. Well,
You have 4 minutes.
4 minutes? Are we there?
3.5.
Well, I just wrote down some of the procedures we're going to have to go through to get one. What they require is first to write a complete footnoted, well-documented narrative history at least 3 type letter-sized pages long. And once we get that, then we submit it to the County Historical Commission. And it goes from there, I guess, to the state. And I don't know what they do after that, but the state controls all the wording. And it goes on the marker, and it takes 6 to 9 months to process the marker.
If we can work up the history and all of the necessary records that we have.
Stated somebody, and she painted that from a picture. And that she had, I mean, not a picture, from a vase of roses that she had. I have 4 of her pictures myself that have all won the first prize in the state. She is very good. She could have sent more, but she said this wasn't really the time to do it for various reasons. And one thing, a little later on, we'll be playing a tape that Vernon made. And she said she didn't want to detract too much from what Vernon had planned to do for this meeting. And so I'm going to cheat a little, and I'm going to tell you that Clara won on prize this year. She is Poet Laureate for 1986 for the World Poetry Corporation.
There's the winner last year. It'd be a shame for this picture. Hey, Mike Lee, let me have your attention. It'd be a shame for Clara to paint this picture that's won so many prizes, and us only get $15 or $20 for it. Now, I'll tell you, that'd be a shame. So let's do something, because they've done a lot of work on this. What is going on?
Boo. Oh.
Wendell, I didn't see you. Get a good picture of you there.
There's a lot of people.
Feels good to you.
I want you to meet her. We're not looking old girl.
I want to say hi. Thank you. Rountree. Next to
How much money?
one of the smartest around.
tell you what. Try to get
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go throw these girls
Harold,
No, it hurts me. So that you get
well, there we are again. Trying to get the prettiest people in most of the footage. Okay.
Rudy, I'm gonna try to get my nephew to play a couple of songs.
Oh, I hope you do.
If I can talk him into it.
And get your dad to play the banjo too.
He doesn't want to.
Everybody's been grabbing these. Here's a stack of plates right here. That's about as small as we got. You're on smile mark, you're on candy camera. Trash is by the door.
What are you looking for?
I don't think so.
I'm scared of these second service. I won't hardly use it. But see, what happened used to now, when I was a child, this is not exactly current then. But I can remember on our place, Dad was great fruit. But he would bud and graft things.
There's that man. You never know where he's going to show up.
You never know where he's going to show up. They open him out real wide, they lose the tonsils. But anyway, I can remember apple trees, pear trees, plum trees were buried when I was a child. When I left home, well, they're still there. Pear trees, this old pear tree, all this old farm ferns. It was there when I was oh, that's still there. We never did anything. We never did anything. We never take the ashes. You take the ashes out of your fireplace. It's got to be hotel section. The hotel section, they show and all these people were sitting there all across the field when the rest of that place still going and blowing up. These people were and they were hanging out in their strap in their seats with no floor down in front of them, going across the field, sliding a couple $100 down. You figure that. You talking about hurting the feelings. And when you see the front part of it, like wearing up in front of it. And that whole row, all the way across from room wall to the next, there was no floor in front of them. The seat was held by the back bracket, and people just dangling in the air going across the field.
Okay, we're going to start in this row here. Okay, who are okay, now who are these?
These are Warren and Sammy Kay. I mean, I knew I'd say it wrong.
Okay, and this one?
Alicia, Lynn Cassie, Sammy Kay's children. This is Amy Fry, Franklin Fry's daughter.
Okay.
Sammy Kay and her daughter, Alicia. Franklin Fry and Richard Roundtree. Franklin and his children, Amy and Todd.
Okay.
And Philip Fry on his birthday.
Okay.
Franklin, his wife Frances, and Michael and Amy.
Okay.
Richard Roundtree. Bill Roundtree's daughter and her husband, and his other daughter and her husband, and Frida Fry. Francis and Todd Fry. Philip Fry, Sammy Kay, Roundtree, Richard Roundtree, Franklin Fry, Vincent Roundtree.
Reunion, she mentioned that she would like for me to bring you up to date on the latest family research. I was hoping she'd forgotten about that, but she has a better memory than I do. Anyway, I can bring you up to date on the is the marriage of John and Duncan and his cousin Melinda.
And Grace Evelyn found out, my daughter, in her work, that they lived, one family of them lived in Tennessee, and the other in Mississippi, which was just across the line, and the counties joined. But they never have traced it down to there. But Mr. Layden and Ms. Layden have both told me that Grandpa Duncan looked so much like Mr. Layden's first wife, Daddy, until it was scary. Said when they saw him, that he was exactly like Mr. Layden's daddy-in-law back in.
All of those who made that trip are gone now. And for the most part, they lie buried in little scattered cemeteries not too far from where we are now. But I like to think that they are still with us. And I like to think that if they could speak to us today, they would tell us that the things that we think are really important are not really important at all. That what we have to do, what we must do, is to love and care for each other. And that we must show kindness and understanding toward one another. And that they would remind us that we are bone of their bone, flesh of their flesh, and that their blood flows through our veins, the veins of all of us here. And that makes us into a very special group of people, known as kinfolks. Thank you very much.
Of Christianity. Thoughts that have come from teaching by my mother.
This is the Rountree Cemetery near Argo, Texas. That's Avon Rountree.
How about
This is Gene Rountree Earls. Now let's go up here and take a look at the entrance gate. It says Rountree Embry. Rountree Embry. And now, folks, if y'all will help me open the gate here, we'll walk in here and meet our ancestors. Or see their graves. Perhaps we won't meet our ancestors. That'd be kind of scary. Okay, let's see what we've got here. We're walking into the Rountree Embry Cemetery. So the first grave we're going to look at here is Martha Allen Rountree. That's my great-grandmother. Is that 1824 to 1897? Now here is the great-grandfather, James Sylvester Rountree, 1815 to 1886. 1815, I believe that was the year of the Battle of Waterloo, if I'm not mistaken. Now the newest grave is that of Clyde Embry, who wrote the book on growing up in Mount Pleasant. Evangelist Clyde Embry. He was at our reunion last year. Gene remembers him as eating a lot of cantaloupe. You want to say anything, Avon?
No, I don't think so.
This is your first visit to the famous Rountree Cemetery near Argo, Texas, near Mount Pleasant, Texas.
It's kind of small.
How about Gene Rountree Earls? What would you like to say?
Well, this is my first time in the cemetery.
Here's the producer of the show, Rudy Rountree. The person running the camera now is Avon Rountree, who is the director of the show. I'm the producer, she's the director, and Gene is the contributing editor. Or editor, I guess you should say. Now, let's see. I don't know whose grave this is, Avon. Margaret Thompson and I are going to get some little 1-foot squares of who all's buried out here. We don't know exactly where their graves are anymore, but we're going to probably put their just put them out here so they'll be here. Okay. Now, if you look over this way, Avon, toward your left, point toward those woods. Back beyond those woods is where James Sylvester first had his farm. That was the original Rountree farm. Walking up on the camera, acting silly. Oh, I forgot this is going to be showed at the reunion next year. I'll look like a nut. Just joking. The road to the north of the cemetery. And if we swing back around to the east, back over in the corner where Clyde Embry's buried. And this is to the south, the road to the south. And this is looking over toward the southwest. That's our gate. Okay, one last look at James Sylvester's grave and Martha Allen, the grandfather and the grandmother of the Rountree Duncan clans. The Cox family married into the Rountree clan, and the Allens, of course, are kin to us through James Sylvester's wife, Martha Allen. This is the reunion of the Rountree, Duncan, Cox, Allen families in the year 1986. It's June the 20th, 1987, and this is the annual Rountree Allen Duncan Cox, or Cox Allen Duncan Rountree reunion. This is about the 11th, 12th, or 14th year. I can't remember which. I'll ask Penwood in a few minutes. So let's get in and get set up, Abe. Hi. How are you?
Hi. My name's not in the pot. Is it all right for me to come?
Sure. We asked about you this morning, wondering if you were coming, because I hadn't heard from you.
We couldn't hear from, I didn't know whether I was coming from 3 o'clock yesterday.
Well, sure glad you came. Wouldn't be a reunion without you.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you can up to it. She'll get up and around.
Be sure and warn me. That's what I do.
Yes. Hi.
Rudy Rountree and Estelle Sweet.
Nice to meet you.
She's our musician.
Great.
If you don't care
How you doing? How are you?
Yeah, that's, I'm here.
Hello?
Hello.
She has some pictures here I think you'd be interested in.
Oh, yeah. Who is it?
This is my granddaddy Cox, Jim Cox.
Yes.
This is my daddy, Bill Cox.
Yes.
This is my oldest brother, Charlie Cox.
Oh, I wonder if my Uncle Charlie Rountree was named after him.
I don't know. And then this is his little girl, Beverly.
My grandmother was Amanda Cox.
Well, she was my great aunt. Amanda was my granddaddy's sister.
Your granddaddy's sister?
My granddaddy's sister is Aunt Amanda Cox. Scruggs Miller. He was
Scruggs Miller, yeah.
Jewel Miller's son. Jewel Miller married Rountree.
Yeah.
But this is Scruggs' whole family, and they're all dead except Blanche Shoemaker.
My goodness. Yeah, I've got them on the chart over here, but I've never seen pictures of them.
Well.
Thank you for showing me. I want to come back and look at those later a lot. What?
You can get those other things on the thing.
Yeah. You want to get them for me?
What year was that?
Your assets. Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's strapped down, brother.
It was crazy. It was so sad.
I need an extension cord, but I don't have one. Make up stretch. Beautiful.
I've got to come to hug my little girls. Well, how in the world are you? Well, it's sure good to see you. Good to see you.
Who's this right here? Oh, that's the
Right spot back there.
You don't want you to put a name up there. Yes,
seat. We'll get ready to start. We won't let the program go very long before we have lunch. Just be a couple of items, then we'll have lunch and have the main part of the program right after that. Okay, this is the 12th year that we've had this reunion for the Roundtree, Duncan, Cox, and Allen family. We're very happy that we have 3 people from the Allen family that have come. And he said to my mother, I wonder what happened to that part of the family that I remember as a little boy. And I got to talking with him about it, and we drove down here to Mount Pleasant, and we found Jamie Duncan and his church, and discovered the part of the family that we had lost many generations before. I'd never really heard of many of the people down here, and that was in 1976, and so we've been doing it for 12 years. Now the agenda is this: we're going to have our lunch, and then we're going to have a few announcements, and then I'm going to do a short history of the family. Avon told me that nobody wanted to hear a long, drawn-out thing, so I'm going to just show you the charts that we have and how they fit together, and a little bit about the major ancestors, and then you can see the charts. And if any of you are interested in any specific history, you can come up to me and I'll fill you in, but we won't bore the people that don't want to hear the ancient history. This is what we're going to do about lunch. About 6 weeks ago, I wrote everybody a letter whose addresses that I had.
How many places do you need there? How many places do you need? Okay. You need 5? Okay. Did that get it? Where'd you get it?
Never have heard you be referred to as
What car?
no yellow. So Jamie, I never have heard you be referred to as being lost.
Ann, how you doing?
Y'all sign that.
What's the, okay.
Y'all good time to have you up here a week ago.
Each person note telling them when it's going to be, and we might ask Jamie if he was. We also have some collars for sale that you might want to look at that Ruby Pierce has brought. You can check with her if Ruby would raise her hand. She has some collars that you might want to purchase from her, and also some door prizes will be given out. And we'll ask Avon if she'll pass around those yellow slips there under that ash. And the man that you see at the top is William Roundtree. Now, he died in 1766. He was born in 1699, in that period. He is a contemporary of Thomas Jefferson, and his plantation in Virginia was just a few miles from Shadwell, where Thomas Jefferson was born, and I've tried to follow up to see how close, and it's just a few miles, so they may have known one another. And he is a contemporary, of course, of the other founders of the American Revolution. And one of the sons has an interesting part in the American Revolution. And the way this chart is put together, we have the founder, William Roundtree, who is a descendant of the Rowntrees of Yorkshire, England. And not quite a year ago, my sister Carlita and Maisie and Jean and my wife Avon and my nephew Steve and I went there and went through that countryside, and it's very similar to the countryside here. Extremely beautiful farming country, dairy, grains, and other crops. Very beautiful area. So the origin of the William Rountree line, which includes all of the Rowntrees and all of the Duncans, comes from this root in Yorkshire, England. And the Cox family, according to my grandmother, who was Amanda Cox Rountree, is intertwined with his family all through the generations back. And I don't have the tie except when it comes in with my grandmother. But I do know that the Cox family, according to her, were intertwined all the generations back. So even though it appears to be that they come just with my grandmother into a mixture with this family, it's actually tied back. The Allens, as you'll find, are tied in with my great-grandfather. That's James Sylvester Rountree, who was married to Martha Allen. And you'll see that chart in a few minutes. All of the children of William Rountree are listed crosswise, with their mates on the other charts in parentheses, and all of their children listed under those. One of them, Richardson Rountree, there's a revolutionary story about him that is in several of the history books. As you may know, during that period, these people, before they were in revolution, were citizens of Great Britain. They were colonists, but still citizens. They were Englishmen, in other words. And in order to go into revolution, they had to make a terrific decision, which was to reject their heritage and strike out into a rebel cause. Benjamin Franklin said they all had to hang together, or most assuredly they would all hang separately, because they were outlaws until they succeeded, and they were patriots after they succeeded. But if they hadn't succeeded, they would have been the traitors, they would have been the Benedict Arnolds, and he would have been the hero. Well, what happened was that the Tories were the ones that stayed with their citizenship as Englishmen, and the rebels became the American patriots, including our great-great-grandfather and our great-great-grandfather, Richardson Rountree. And when he went into the rebel cause, his plantation was laid siege to, and his family was driven from it. He was driven back into a canebrake to try to escape the advancing Tory forces, which had, of course, British allies. And he was saved. There's one story that he was tied to a tree and left to die, and at one point even tried to get a snake that was nearby to strike him because he thought he was going to starve to death tied to that tree. But he was released, and he did become one of the American patriot heroes. He's mentioned in several of the history books. This is the Allen side of the family, and we're very fortunate to have three of the Allens here today that have filled out one whole column in this area. Now, these people are the ancestors of Martha Allen, which is the ancestor of all the Rowntrees here and all the Duncans that are here. Okay? On this chart, we have the James Sylvester Rountree and Martha Allen and all of their children listed. This includes our family from Bud Rountree and all of the Duncan family from Mary Elizabeth, who married George Washington Duncan, and all their brothers and sisters, which include the Millers, many others. Even Clyde Embry, that wrote that book there, who is not blood tied to us, was married to one of the people that was blood tied to us, and he considered himself a Rountree because his family lived with our families. And as you see these charts, you can begin to see how everyone ties together. A lot of the names are very difficult to research because when the clerks in the county courthouses were transcribing names, sometimes they shortened, abbreviated. In fact, we don't know when the D, where there was a decision of someone else to change that spelling. The original spelling from England is R-O-W-N-T-R-E-E. And by the way, the Rountree family passed through Ireland for a generation or two and picked up Irish wives, and that gave the Irish flavor to the family, and some of them came in from Scotland, the Scotch-Irish. And the migrations that took place over the south were of the Scotch-Irish, the English, and the Black Dutch. all of those people came through and produced the families that moved in the 1870s, our line, into this area. Our ancestor, James Sylvester Rountree, came in a wagon called Argo, short, as Penwood and I surmise, from Argonauts, which is based on the myth of Jason and the Argonauts, striking out for new territory, looking for the Golden Fleece. And he settled in Argo and is buried in Argo, which is just a few miles. He named the town after his wagon and the wagon train, and became the postmaster of that little town, and a farmer, and produced the dozens of children, produced the many scores of grandchildren, and hundreds of great-grandchildren, of which all of us are a part. And the Cox family, as I said, speaking of these names, I have a very interesting story of how one was shortened. Part of the family come from the Cockney English, which is the working class of the Englishmen, and they had a child named Horace, but when the Cockney pronunciation came out, it was Aris, because they did not pronounce the H in Horace. And it was spelled by someone later as A-R-I-S instead of H-O-R-A-C-E. So it became an Aris Cox, because that's the way they pronounced it. And there are people researching this great confusion is because another Cox line came into our family somewhere 100 or so years ago that are not connected with my grandfather's family. So when you're researching these names through here, you're getting two different lines coming through that when you research it, it can really confuse you. So we have a chart up there on the Allen family. We have two charts on the Cox family. And as I told one of my relatives recently, naturally when you're doing the research, you're going with your name that's passed down through the male in the family, or roundtree. And when you get to some of the associated families, you feel like you're cheating them because you don't give enough information to them. So I wanted today to start a tradition saying, since we're talking so much about the ancestors of the Roundtrees and the Duncans, that for some of the Cox family to bring me some information that would help me do this sometime in the future to emphasize them. Our grandfather, all of the Bud Roundtree family, our grandfather, Bud Roundtree, married Amanda Cox. And so we're related to all the Cox people here through him and through her. And some of the Duncans also married into the Cox family. And so we have at least living today some triple cousins that come through three different lines. And to trace these things, you really get some interesting interweavings. And my grandmother told me that happened, that they came in from three different lines. And to trace them back, it gets really confusing. But as I said, we'll have these charts back at the back tables for you to look at. And if you'll take a ballpoint pen out and add anything over the years that you can, like things that you've discovered, the births of new children, we just fill these in every year. And you can see how everybody's tied together. Research is not scientific. Often mistakes are made because we just are imperfect and we get things confused. But I want to recommend to you that you look through these, and I'll show you some of the books that we get some of this information if you're interested. And we'll start the TV tape in a few minutes that will show last year's reunion of this. That's a tradition we started last year of trying to record these. Now, Ivy, if you will coach me if I've left anything out for this year. Is that good? Yes.
We changed the depositor to the Security Savings Association. I went off on vacation.
June 18th, 1988. standing all by themselves. Hi. And here's our president for this year, Harold.
Where you hiding your plate? I ain't had McDonald's.
Fort Worth, Spike Jones one time. And I didn't know it. We could have seen him. So we saw Spike Jones.
I rented it here about a month ago.
How many did you have? 26. Okay, what they tell you was going to have? 30?
I guess he's just got tired of correcting. No, I think you better. Probably like a lot of us, he's got tired of correcting it. I went all the way through high school here at
I think Sally, that's about all I said. He dug up and you ain't the force and everything. We've already got 3. It's just a theory, but it's a crazy
This is the 1988 reunion. June 17th, 1988.
June 18th?
18th.
far away from water.
Because yesterday was June 17th.
Tomorrow's Juneteenth, anniversary of our house birthday.
And what was yesterday?
Jeremy Dillon LeBeau arrived at 4:45, weighing in at 8 pounds 1 ounce in Rockwall, Texas. Is that Rockwall or Rowlett?
Rowlett.
Close right between the two.
When you cross over that bridge, you're in Rockwall.
Here are the people who prepared this delicious food.
Oh, yes, I know.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, it was. Record that. What kind of computer did you buy, Penwood?
Packard Bell.
I bet it'll do everything, huh?
Well, it has a 40 megabyte hard disk in it.
Oh, that's great.
If it's a color,
Yeah.
best color I could get.
today. He's going to do a couple of songs for us and continue eating. And he's got another appointment. I think he and Ray Price are Willie Nelson are going to perform tonight in Texarkana. So
Where is he?
come forward.
Some older songs. One of them the song about Bob Will. Bob Will.
No letter today. I have waited since dawn. I've waited each day since you have been gone. No letter today. Ah, the days are so long. Oh, why don't you write? I know I was wrong. Give me one chance. live. Well, I know it's no use. Still I hope and I pray. The postman goes by, no letter today. Twinkle, twinkle, lucky star, can you send me love from where you are? You make a rainbow shine far. Twinkle, twinkle, lucky star, can you really make a wish come true? How do you shine for the chosen few? Is it over? Have I gone too far? Twinkle, twinkle, lucky star, like two ships on the ocean, we drifted apart. You found an isle of sea, I'm still adrift with this pain in my heart. Won't you send your sweet love back to me? Twinkle, twinkle, lucky star, can you send me love from where you are? You make a rainbow shine far. Twinkle, twinkle, lucky star. The cowboy rides away, and my heart is sinking like a setting sun, setting on the things I wish I'd done. It's time to say goodbye to yesterday. And this is where the cowboy rides away. Let's stop that, Mr. Coughlin. It's too late to come back home. You came a long way going the wrong way. I didn't want to let you go, but you've been too gone for too long. Now it's too late to come back home.
We'll read her poem that she wrote especially for the reunion. And there's a very beautiful letter that she sent to us.
Well, who's going to read the poem now?
Well, we'll get,
I want somebody to read the poem.
with Ken with
It's
it.
beautiful.
Are you inspired enough?
Let's just keep it discussing.
Yeah.
Rudy,
okay.
I mean, they all, well, we should have a speech. And her husband.
Yeah.
Her husband.
That looks like an Indian. And what did you win?
All right, now we have a very valuable
Yeah. Yeah.
hand-knitted pot holder. Says Walmart.
And what did you win?
No, that is funny.
That was yours? You won that one?
What?
You won that?
Oh, this is not
I said he wanted to.
Now we're adding this onto the film from the reunion. Jeremy Dillon. Isn't he pretty? Be careful. Got such dark hair.
It may get darker too.
Why don't you bend down and get a better shot of
You're doing fine. You haven't waking up, awoken.
Well, I hope he's going to be a good sleeper for you.
Well, he's done pretty good sleeping. He really has.
Boy, that's a good-looking Roy. And here's the proud mother, Mademoiselle LeBeau.
Yeah.
He's trying to wake up. And then we went to see a friend of hers. Did you put the date on him?